welcome back to our channel. My name is Nisa. I am a bridal hairstylist and makeup artist and the owner of Blanc on Location Bridal Salon, who's been living and working here in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico for the last 18 years. In today's video, I'm going to dive into my top 10 tips for newly engaged brides. So if you're currently engaged and considering a Cabo wedding, or if you've already started planning your dream wedding in Cabo, then this is a video that you definitely don't want to miss. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share with you one of my most important pieces of advice that I say for my brides who are stressed out on their wedding day. So without further ado, let's dive right in. My first tip is to hire a good wedding planner. With a destination wedding, you really need boots on the ground, someone that's there and that can help you with all the little details. They can align you with the right venues and vendors according to your vision and budget. That way you're not shooting in the dark or wasting valuable time corresponding with options that are not in sync with your vision. Sorry guys, I'm a little sick today, so bear with me. Some of the other benefits of hiring an established and knowledgeable wedding planner is that they already have relationships with all the local vendors, so they know which ones are good and which ones you might want to avoid. They also know important details about hotels and other venues, such as additional fees to bring in outside vendors, which locations can get windy certain times of the year, room blocks, curfews, and a million other things that you probably can't even imagine. They can help you review contracts to make sure everything is legit and make sure that you're protected. I know that with so much information getting forced at you, it's really nice to have someone else that's done this a million times that can inform you of certain policies and procedures that you may otherwise overlook. These are just a few of the benefits of hiring a qualified wedding planner. To be honest, I've never really understood why brides would bring a wedding planner from another town unless they work in Cabo frequently and have already established good connections here. Essentially, one of the most important reasons why you're hiring a wedding planner in Cabo is for their expertise and their connections in this town. There are a few great destination wedding planners that we do work with frequently, so I'm definitely not knocking that idea. But for the most part, I recommend hiring a planner that's based in Cabo who has the experience of working with all the venues and the vendors in this town. Tip number 2. I highly recommend doing face-to-face interviews with all of the vendors that you're going to be spending a lot of time with. For most brides, this is their wedding planner, their photographer, and their hair and makeup team. I really suggest this because you want to make sure that you like their vibe and that you feel comfortable working with them. You know, for people like your cigar roller and things like that, it's really not that important. But the people that you will be spending a lot of time with, it's really important that you have that connection and that you trust them and that you know exactly who you're working with, since this is a destination wedding. If you'd like to receive a downloadable outline of the top questions that I recommend asking your wedding planner when you're interviewing them, then click on the link below. Tip number 3, do your research early and book your most important vendors in advance. I think that one of the most common problems that I see brides run into is that they don't secure their most important vendors early enough and they end up losing the date. A lot of brides think that Cabo is just like California or Texas and that there's tons of choices, but it doesn't really work like that down here. There are limited choices. It's important to keep in mind that Cabo's wedding industry is much different than larger cities. As soon as you know your wedding date and your venue, you really need to get on booking your most important vendors ASAP, which means that you should be researching them at the same time that you're looking for your venue. For most brides, the most important vendors are their photographer and their hair and makeup team. It also ensures that you don't lose the opportunity to work with the best team by waiting too late and then not having them be available. A lot of brides wait till after they choose their venue to start the researching process, and by this time your options will already be limited. Now, what I mean by researching is that you want to interview the vendors that are the most important to you. Do a Zoom call, check out their social media pages and their website, make sure you like their work and that they're a reputable company with a solid contract. It's also important that they respond to your emails in a timely manner and that communication is fluid and easy. This is super important, especially with your photographer and hair and makeup team, because you want to make sure that if something happens on the wedding day and you need to get in touch with them by phone or text, that it's not going to be a problem. When choosing your hair and makeup team specifically, you want to make sure that they will be there for you 110% no matter what. In Cabo, most of the reputable vendors get booked out 8 to 12 months in advance, and it's not abnormal for brides to book their photographer and hair and makeup team up to a year and a half out. So once you've done your research and you know who you want to work with, don't delay in signing your contract and making your deposit. If you end up waiting 2 to 3 months before your wedding to secure your dates, all of the good hairstylists and makeup artists will already be booked up by then, and you'll end up working with vendors that no one else wanted to work with, which is not exactly what you want on your wedding day. So don't say I didn't tell you so. Tip number 4, it's okay to secure your wedding date before having your trial. With destination weddings, this is completely normal. Some brides are hesitant to secure their wedding date before doing their trial because they want to make sure that they're happy with everything. But the problem is that if you wait to secure your date until the trial, which is normally 2 to 3 months before the wedding, then you risk losing the best stylists since they are the ones that get booked up first. I understand that on occasion, some brides may have had bad experiences with another company, and maybe they don't want to make the same mistake twice. So I get that. In certain circumstances, we will make an exception to doing a trial before securing the date. But with destination weddings, most of our brides do secure their date before having their trial. By waiting till after the trial, you're only hurting yourself by limiting your opportunities of working with the best stylists. So my point in addressing this is that if you've done your research as a bride and you feel confident in their team, they have good reviews, they return your emails, etc., then there's no reason why you shouldn't secure your wedding date before having the trial. Remember that weddings are our specialty. We do this every weekend, and we will make sure that you are taken care of. I know it might be a little scary, but this is just one of those things that you have to trust me on. Tip number 5, schedule your site visit and your trial 1 to 2 months before your wedding date. I would say that 90% of our brides come in advance to do a site visit with their wedding planner. The recommended time for your site visit is 1 to 2 months out. This ensures that it's not too far out for you to change your mind 10 times and that not too much can change with your vendors. For us as hairstylists and makeup artists, this allows us enough time in the case that you need to change your haircut or order extensions, but not too much time so that your look changes completely. At Blanc Salon, all of our stylists submit a trial report after the trial that includes photos and notes of what we did and any changes or adjustments that might need to be made for the wedding date. This ensures that we can remember exactly all the details to recreate the look, keeping in mind everything we did at the trial. A lot of brides also like to schedule a photo shoot on the day of their trial so that they can get comfortable working with their photographer and not waste their hair and makeup trial on a day where they're just sitting by the pool. Tip number 6. Oh my God, I'm so sick today. Sorry, guys. Tip number 6. Make sure you communicate with your stylist and expect that there will be some changes and adjustments during the trial. Remember that it's completely normal to have to make some adjustments and changes. That's exactly why it's important to tell us what you like and what you don't like. Trust me, you're not going to hurt our feelings. We do this every single day and we're used to getting feedback. Don't just agree and say that you like it if you don't. Give us the opportunity to make some changes if needed. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through the whole process again with a different company or a new stylist and start all the way from the beginning. As long as there's open communication, there's really no reason why the stylist shouldn't be able to adjust the look as needed to get your desired style. It's important that you feel comfortable giving feedback on what you like and what you don't like. If you're interested in watching the video that I have made on how to have a successful trial, then check out this link right here where I go into everything you need to know about preparing for your trial and some tips to make sure that it's a success. Okay, tip number 7, be prepared for your trial. At Blanc, we request in advance photos of yourself with your natural hair and everyday makeup, as well as your inspiration for hair and makeup, and a photo of your dress. This way we can make sure that the style that you're going for is actually achievable with your natural hair, and that we don't need to add extensions or make any changes to your cut in order to achieve the look. I always recommend looking for inspiration photos of women who have a similar skin tone as well as features and similar hair color and length. This way you can have realistic expectations of how things will turn out. The reason why we request photos of your dress is so that we can envision the whole look together and make our professional recommendations based on the proportions of your dress in relation to your hairstyle and your body shape. If we are doing the hair and makeup for any other events that you want to try a different style on the trial date, we will also request photos for inspiration for each of those events, as well as a photo of what you'll be wearing. After your trial, I recommend taking photos in different lighting and giving your hair and makeup team feedback on how the makeup and hair wore into the day. This allows them to take any notes and make any necessary adjustments on products and things like that, just to make sure everything is perfect for your wedding day. Another tip is to trust your makeup artist if they want to go a little darker than what you're normally comfortable with. Normally, if your makeup artist is suggesting to go a little darker, it's because they know how it's going to translate on film. Keep in mind that we do this every weekend and we know how makeup translates onto camera, so in most cases, a very natural look or how you're used to seeing yourself every day may not show up at all in photos. So then what's the purpose of hiring a professional makeup artist if your makeup is going to look exactly like you did if you did it yourself? Trust the professionals. Another very important tip during your trial is to make sure that your makeup artist is looking out for you by using disposables and not double dipping their mascara and lipsticks during the trial. You want to make sure that your makeup artist has your best interest in mind and that they're following proper guidelines for sanitation and disinfection, especially if you'll be booking them with your friends and family in a group situation. If they aren't even doing the basics during your trial, then they're definitely not going to do it with a larger group of people. You don't want to go with a makeup artist that doesn't know the basics of how to keep their brushes and kit clean. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Tip number 8. Don't try new products before your wedding date. And if you're going to get facials, start doing them at least 5 to 6 months in advance. You don't want to take the chance of having a reaction to something right before your wedding with stress and all the things that are going on in your life. Sometimes your body is just waiting for an excuse to have a reaction. So I would suggest just avoiding the whole situation by sticking to your normal regimen. I suggest finding a good esthetician and starting with facials at least 5 to 6 months in advance, if not more. Anything less than that, you could run into some issues with breakouts, as normally it takes some time with facials to get a lot of the extractions to come to the surface, and you don't want to be in the middle of that when your wedding happens. So you want to do that far enough in advance that you actually make progress with your facials. And if they recommend you do any treatments such as IPL or laser treatments, you want to make sure that that is done ahead of time and that your skin has time to heal properly. Tip number 9, try the spray tanning in advance. Most of our brides that are interested in having spray tanning services try it when they come for their site visit. This is a great idea because it allows you to decide if you like the level of darkness that we accomplished on the trial run, or if you prefer to go a little bit lighter or darker. We also do custom contouring for your body, so this allows you the opportunity to see how it will look during your wedding week. If you want more information on our spray tanning, check out this video where I go into all the ins and outs about preparing for your spray tan. Tip number 10, plan for the elements and the weather, wind, heat, rain, cold nights, etc. Make sure your dress is made for a hot climate. Breathable fabrics like chiffon and organza are great. If you are a person who sweats a lot, make sure your dress is sleeveless. And if you're getting married in our hotter months of June through September, I suggest bringing a body talc or even just good old Gold Bond powder to keep you and your groom from sweating through your clothes. Put it on your armpits and your bits and pieces so that you don't get boob sweat. One of my little tricks. Also, in the wintertime, which people don't think it actually gets cold here in Cabo, and compared to other places, maybe it's not that cold, but it does get chilly at night. December through February, the nights can get a bit cold, so you may want to make sure that you and your guests are prepared for that. One thing that I think happens a lot is that people underestimate how chilly it gets at night, and then people are just throwing on random things over their dresses at night, and the photos just look bad because people are wearing things that they didn't really plan on wearing. So I always think it's kind of a cute idea to give your bridal party pashminas or something that keeps them warm over their dress and still looks classy. Pashminas as gifts is really a great idea for the colder months for your bridal party. Also, in our winter months, some of the venues can get really windy here. So it is really good to have a backup plan for your hair just in case you happen to get married on a day where it's extremely windy, or January, February. Then you may want to check out an updo or something in case you need to go with that. Tip number 9, make a list of the photos that are the most important to you and go over them in detail with your photographer. I didn't do this with my wedding photographer, and I was really sad because I didn't have one photo with me and my 5 best friends. The only photo we had together was the one that someone else took that was really bad quality. So if you have specific shots or specific people that you want photos with, make sure that you communicate that with your photographer. I always recommend making a Pinterest board that shows kind of the mood and maybe some certain shots that you really would love to have, and make sure that you share that with them to make sure you guys are on the same page. Tip number 10, delegate. Yes, it's okay to delegate things to your maid of honor or someone that you trust on your wedding day. You would be surprised the things that brides get bombarded with when we're trying to do their hair and makeup that they really shouldn't have to deal with. You should be fully present with your family and your friends and enjoying your day, not dealing with some crazy issue that came up with people who are attending your wedding, and you're welcome. Oh wait, we're already at 10. So my 2 bonus tips. These are 2 things that I tell my brides when they're super stressed out or upset about something silly and they're about to walk down the aisle, and they just need to be brought back down to earth. And the first one is that don't let insignificant things ruin your vibe. Remember that everyone is there because they love you. Just be conscientious of staying in a positive mood because you set the vibe for how everything is going to go, and you can't let these stupid little things affect you. You're in control of that. If you're upset because the flowers weren't right or something else was a disappointment, just remember how much work you've put into this, and you're not gonna let that shit ruin your whole night. So pull it together, readjust your attitude, and go out there and have a fucking blast. So that's my first little pep talk that I always give brides. My second one is to really be present and enjoy every moment. I hear from so many brides and grooms that the whole weekend was just a blur and they never took time to like really enjoy it. And before they knew it, the whole thing was gone. They didn't even feel like they remember it. So take a moment the night of the wedding to step away from it all with your husband, squeeze his hand and tell him how much you love him, and just take a moment to take it all in. So if you watched this video to the end and you liked my 2 bonus tips, leave me a diamond emoji in the comment section below. If you're a newly engaged bride, let me know which of these tips were the most useful to you. I'd love to hear your feedback on any topics that you'd like me to cover. In my next video, I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of explaining the difference of having a civil ceremony and a non-civil ceremony. So if this is something that interests you, then stick around.